It's just a hot mess.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. Joining us for this week's hot mess, Candace Johnson. She's an intimacy and relationship coach, creator of the Touchy Feely intimacy card game, and CEO of GOOSHY Candy LLC. Candace, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. For this segment, you can call me Mr. Clean.
Okay. All right. So listen, the first thing that we have to talk about is these standards that apparently some women have created for what they want to do on these dating apps and who they want to date and why they want to date them. We got to talk about that. But first, I got to ask you, why do you want me to call you Mr. Clean? I got to ask you that. Why you want me to call you Mr. Clean?
Here's the thing. Unwell people like to play in mess. I don't like to play in mess. So If the segment is called Hot Mess, then I'm going to be the cleaner.
Okay. You going to clean up the mess?
We're going to have to clean up the mess because unwell people make unwell choices. That's what it is, right?
Okay.
So the first topic that we're going to talk about stems from unhealthiness, and I'm going to help you guys clean it up.
All right. Well, let's see. We'll see. So the first thing is this standard. Now, what is this standard that some of our sisters are setting on the dating apps? What's going on?
Well, okay, right. So on the Tinder app, there's now this new feature where you can add your preferences for height. For the last few years, if not for the last few decades, women have been sort of talking about this, what do they call it? This high-valued man. And it sort of lays into this 666 rule, meaning he makes six figures or over, he's 6 foot tall or taller, and he has at least 6 inches of love to provide.
All right, so listen. So the other thing was 666. 666 is a number for something else too. You know what I'm saying? That part.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they got this rule. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? People's preferences are their preferences. That's totally fine. That's not an issue. What I always like to encourage people to do is think about why your preferences are your preferences. Everybody has their sort of genealogy for what is the most attractive to them. But if we are dismantling what a man is based on those 3 priorities, then it seems like the spiritual world, men who are generous, like there are a lot of qualities, men who maybe are physically active seems to me like that would supersede height, right? If the goal is to have someone tall because you want someone that's going to be able to protect you, well, I don't know, dating a man that's 5'9" and in jujitsu sounds like that would be a lot more desirable than someone who is over 6 foot and only knows how to order fried food with cheese on it. I don't know. Just trying to think about like why it is what it is. But I think that there are a lot of women who, especially in America, who do not feel safe. Period. And so in their minds, at least having a man that's going to be tall enough to get them to their cars safely or make them feel comfortable in their households is really the bigger consideration. Women don't feel safe. I dated somebody that was 1 inch shorter than me and 2 pounds lighter than me. And it really, I had to swallow my ego on why is this not a real man? If he treats me well, he can protect me, and he made me feel like a woman, which to me is what a man does.
So, Fahim, what do you think? The height restrictions?
The height thing is so interesting. I mean, that's been a thing for a long time, the height preference. And I get it. Like, as Candace said, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. It's just how much emphasis you put on that one particular preference. Like, because to me, I always felt like, because I do prefer whoever I'm dating to be shorter than me. Like, I do like being taller than the person I'm dating, but I don't need her to be a specific height. I just like being taller.
Right.
So if she's 5, like I'm 6 foot even. So if she's 5'8", I'm cool. So it's always been weird to me with the women that are like, he has to be 6'2". I'm like, but you're 5'4".
Yeah.
Like, why is the 5'8" guy a problem? Like, he's still clearly taller than you.
One of the things that I think about is the fact that there are more women than men. And so when you make all of these restrictions, you kind of thinning out your own pool, if you will. And then, men have more women to choose from. Women have fewer men to choose from. And so you then thin out your own pool by saying, well, he got to be this, and this. And so now you got just a smaller percentage of the smaller percentage. I mean, what does that make sense? Maybe it's me.
That doesn't make sense to me because I'm also not trying to date. Well, there are men I just won't date, right? So
Right.
I want my pool to be small. Here's
Mhm.
how I see it. My large, and I'm just going to speak for me because I know nobody's going to want to be on the boat that I'm about to build, right? The largest boat I have, here are all the men I'm interested in. A smaller number of that are the men I'm actually willing to hold conversation with who can have a great conversation. Smaller than that are the men that I'm actually going to be intimate with. Lesser than that are the number of men I'm actually going to date and take seriously for partnership. And lesser than that are the ones that I'm actually going to partner with. So the number is always going to get smaller and smaller. I think you have to think about why your preferences are what they are. When women say to me they have to be whatever the end of that sentence is, my first question is, okay, if this is not possible, are you willing to be alone? And are you satisfied in your aloneness? And if you're satisfied being alone, then yeah, wait for Jesus. He'll come.
So I think when I think about the willingness to be alone, most people aren't willing to be alone. And most people want to be, have someone that they can kind of share their life with. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And most people want that. I guess the question is, do you really want it when you found somebody that fits everything except for one thing? You know what I mean? And you then cut that person off based on that one thing. Do you really want it, or is it that you are just setting impossible standards? I wonder about that.
Well, I can tell you that there are a lot of women who've told me that I'm setting impossible standards. I want to be with a man who I admire dearly, who's generous beyond what he does for me, but how he moves around the world. I won't date somebody who litters. I won't date somebody that doesn't have close relationships to the females in his family. And I can tell you that's why women are focused on height, money, and, the package of a man is because there is no true understanding of what a man is. So now the understanding has to be what's going to make you happy. And so if you're always just focused on what's going to make you most satisfied, then yes, God answers prayers. Yes, you will have what you have. But I'm a 41-year-old woman who's never been married, engaged twice, and I have no children. It's because I'm holding out for not the standard. The standard is, common. I'm waiting out for somebody who is actually better than being alone. Because let me tell you, ain't nothing wrong with being alone. There's a
No,
lot
well,
happening
if I feel worse with you than I do being alone, then I want to be alone. I mean, that really is the bottom line, right?
But
I'd rather feel bad by myself. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sure a lot of couples, and just something I know as I work with people, we do relationship coaching, intimacy coaching with singles who want to be able to connect. And there are lots of times when I have to tell my coupled and plural people, my partners, have you thought about being alone? Because I don't think you know how miserable you are trying to make this thing work. And some people have never considered being alone because they see that as a failure, not as another living option.
Yeah, well, I think that there are some people who are not alone and they talk about their relationship. Let's get to the Currys. What's going on with them?
Well, anytime a woman expresses her dissatisfaction, I feel like the world comes to a stop. Ayesha Curry was talking about the fact that initially in her marriage, she did not really want the goals that Steph Curry had. He wanted to get married young and he wanted to have children. Of course, they ended up doing that, and they're a very beautiful family. They all look alike. But now that Ayesha has stepped into her full womanhood, she's sort of giving the call out to other women that babies and a husband don't necessarily equal satisfaction. And it's something that she knew about herself very young, but because she's a good partner and obviously a support system to her superstar husband, she's now just feeling comfortable sharing with other women, hey, if this is what you want, then that's great. But also, if it's not what you want, you still have to find self-satisfaction, even within the confines of your family. And I really cheer her on for that. I know, Fahim, you have a little bit of a clip that you want to play for us.
Yeah.
He's so gracious. Like, he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real.
Yeah,
So
I'm out. I'm out on that. So here's what I think. I think that um some people will get everything that they wanted, everything that they said they wanted and felt that they wanted. You get all of that, and then it's like, you know what? I'm not satisfied with that either. And it begs the question: well, will you ever be satisfied with anything since you got everything that you wanted, and that's not good enough?
I think it's interesting
that's where
that
I'm
you
at.
say, I feel it's interesting that you say that she has everything that she wanted. Actually, she's saying that she didn't have anything that she wanted. She was able to marry well, but anybody who has ever had money knows that money doesn't solve anything. The only people who think that money solves things is people who've never had money. And the other thing is that what she was really mentioning is that, hey, she fell in love with a man. So she did what women do, which is lean in, get married, have babies. And now that her kids are a little bit older, she's looking to find herself. She's just wanting her husband to say, hey, you know what? No, this wasn't your dream. And you're still allowed to want to be satisfied in your own way. How can I help you do that? Not laugh and say, oh, those are just your feelings.
I hear you. I'm out on that. I feel like because as far as what I've seen, and again, I don't know what women want and what they don't, because sometimes when they tell you what they want, it's not really what they want. So sometimes it's confusing for us because we're simple creatures, right? We want a sandwich, we want to be loved, we want to feel good, whatever. I think women are more complicated than us, and so women will say, I want this, I want that, and you get it. And then it's like, you know what? Nah, that's not good enough either. I don't know. Fahim, what do you think?
All right, I don't want it the way you gave it to me or something, like type of thing. But I think the reason why Ayesha gets so much flack is because it's not the first time she's spoken about being unhappy with Steph Curry. It was maybe a couple years ago. She had mentioned how she didn't feel desired, and she felt basically like jealous of Steph because he would go out into the world and women would throw themselves at him, and it made her feel less desirable because she didn't get that same attention. And to me, a lot of times it just comes down to this is for both men and women. You just got to understand what you're signing up for sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know like the dream and the thought of marrying a celebrity, like I said, whether you're a man getting with a famous woman or a woman getting with a famous man, the thought of being with a celebrity sounds amazing. You're going to be in the spotlight and traveling and big house and all that type of stuff. But you have to understand what you're signing up for. You're going to be with somebody that's going to get a lot of attention. You're typically going to be in the shadow of them. Their wants and needs are going to pretty much always come first because they're the one providing the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're going to be taking the backseat. It's just because it's not fair, but that's just the reality. If you sign up for that form of a relationship.
Yeah, that's kind of where you're at. Okay, we got a few seconds left. Candace, what do you think?
I think that anytime a woman has a message to share, we should be asking why and how can we solve it. There are a lot of unhappy women in the planet because they're not thinking about themselves first. They're thinking about their man first. And so when you know what you want, then you always will find satisfaction because you know what your purpose is.
Well, the question is, do you know what you want though? So if you say, well, I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm saying just in general. Do people actually know what they want? Because if your goal is, you know what, I want to get this, I want to get that, this is the kind of relationship I want to, and you get all of that, and then you say, you know what, nah, that's not really what I want. And then you get something else, and you say, nah, that's not really what I wanted either. And then you get something else, and you say, nah.
In my practice, I think you're correct. 100% of the time, my clients do not know what they actually want. They know what is expected of them, and they know what they can achieve. But they do not know what they want, which is why they struggle to get self-satisfaction in themselves, and they don't believe other people when other people try to help as well. But that's why you call me. But yes, there are people out there who are emotionally intelligent, fully satisfied, know what they're wanting, and driven in that practice. Yes, it is possible.
All right. That's Candace Johnson. She is intimacy and relationship coach, creator of the Touchy Feely Intimacy Card Game. Where do people learn more about you and what you do?
Well, you can go on touchyfeelygame.com or Touchy Feely Game on any platform, and you'll find us there. Solomon, I'm going to get you a game because we need to play around. Me and you.
Okay, I don't think so. I want to thank you for your
What do you mean you don't think so?
for joining us this morning on WURD Radio. I appreciate it. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Here's what you missed.